in the Kobol for a second, my top tip from 2023 is never tell your kids you want new glasses for Christmas.
Why don't you put a record on?
This is the second video I've made of the Kobol. I'll leave a link in the description for the first one if you've not seen it. And in that I took a high-level overview which will get you started on the synth, but here I'm going to look at a few of its more unique functions. I also thought the best way to demo it was in a track, which I normally do to be honest, but I didn't have the time before Christmas. So since then I've written this little intro track which I think sums up the sound of it for me, or at least the sounds it leads me to that other synths wouldn't necessarily head toward. For me it leans more towards much more gritty FM, rattly and sort of fuzzy tones. But we'll first start by clarifying a couple of questions that were raised in that first video. Behringer have been in touch to let me know the envelopes are definitely analog and the LFO rate CV input is meant to be inverted. So the higher the signal you send to it, the lower the LFO rate. Yeah, it's meant to be that way. I was just a bit confused as to why it did it, but the original does it. Okay, then let's take a look at how to make the most of it. It's called an expander and there's a good reason for that. If you were to put this into a Eurorack system, you'd give yourself a whole load of extra functionality that's not immediately apparent when you first look at it. Firstly, we've not just got one LFO, we've actually got three because both of the VCOs go down to 10 Hertz. And these are LFOs that have got lots of different waveforms and modulatable waves as well, which means they're quite complex LFOs. We just modulate, I don't know, VCO1 with VCO2. That's pretty slow. And obviously, using PWM, or we could modulate that with the other LFO. So just a few crazy sounds to get us going, but give you the idea. So let's put that into the waveform. Let's turn that down a bit. And that's actually modulating the frequency of VCO2 at the same time. So as I say, lots of modulation options. And although I say these go down to 10 Hertz, let's just turn that down for now. You can actually make that go a lot slower using the voltage processor. So this is my second tip, get to know the voltage processor. We've got two inputs, so it can be used as a mixer, it can be used as an audio or a CV mixer, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But just to continue with the LFOs for a minute, we've got this reverse out, and here, if we don't have anything plugged into the first input, we've just got a gain knob, and it goes up to 10 volts. So if we put that up, let's just modulate VCO1 frequency with it for now. So out, so turn that down. So all we're doing there is adding CV. If we put it in the reverse out, we're dropping the CV, so we're lowering the CV in. Which means if we put that into VCO2 frequency and then modulate VCO1 with VCO2 again, we're slowing down. So if we come down to the 10 Hertz, super slow, and you can slow down the LFO itself with this as well. So take, let's go out of the main output. I'm going out of the main output here because, as I said a minute ago, as you increase the gain or increase the CV to the LFO rate input, it reduces the LFO rate, doesn't increase it. So just try that. So as we increase this CV, we reduce the speed. And as this already goes down to 0.01 hertz, this goes super, super slow. I've not measured it, but it's sort of imperceptible. That's got to be minutes long in the end. Because it would last the whole of a track, I think, if you let it. So you can get really, really slow developing modulations. And here it's doing something there. But as I say, really slowly. And next up with this then is we can use it as an audio mixer. I'll put in VCO2 into input 2, and I'll put noise into input 1. Let's put the output of this mixer into the VCF audio in. Shouldn't hear anything at the minute because VCO1 is down and the output of these is down as well. Let's turn the output gain up. We should hear VCO2. Yeah, let's turn the modulation off. Let's add some noise. So what we've got here, we've got an input trimmer with the volume knob from VCO2. Well, you don't need to do this actually because you can just have VCO2 coming straight through, but just for the purpose of demonstration really. We've got a gain to 1 and then double it. Same with the output gain on this. So you can drive the filter a bit more. Well, there you go, we're mixing audio. So as an expander, great little tool, but we can also mix CV as well. So let's modulate the VCF frequency, and we'll put, what should we modulate it with? Well, we'll use the LFO, and we'll put that into 1, and we'll put, again, VCO2 into number 2. Let's turn that down. We're modulating it with both the LFO and VCO2. So you can hear it there, obviously. Lovely little bits and bobs you can get out of there. So just really wanted to show you that it's a CV mixer and an audio mixer and the reverse out. Pretty cool little tool, isn't it? And next up for me, as we've been messing around with modulation, is FM. We've got FM all over the place on this, because not only do we have FM modulation from the VCOs, but we've also got it from the LFO as well. That goes up to about 100 hertz. Just out of interest, I wonder if we can make it go higher than 100 hertz. So let's modulate VCO1 with the LFO. So let's see if we can get that any faster using the reverse out to increase the LFO rate. Yeah. Not really controllable, but it's there. Oh no, it's all right actually, isn't it? So yeah, you really can get a fair amount of FM from the LFO. Not tried that before. But having the VCO1 and VCO2 out, plus this FM all over the place, which is why that intro track sounds all fuzzy and gritty and a little bit wild. And what's interesting here is the routing of VCO1 and VCO2. If we follow the flow diagram, VCO1 will always come out of the filter, or always go into the filter, I should say, even if you've got something plugged in there. Whereas VCO2, if you follow the flow diagram, it's cut by putting a plug in the socket. So it's cut it. So if you want to modulate one of the oscillators while not hearing the other, VCO2 is the one to use as the modulator. So let's use VCO2 to modulate VCO1. Straight away sounds cool, doesn't it? So this is the trimmer really, adjusting the amount of FM. Nice. But if you wanted to hear both, you'd modulate VCO2 with VCO1. Let's try that. So. Great, that, innit? Let's have a little bit of envelope to that. And this is the sort of tone I really love from this thing. But we can modulate that further. Let's try modulating the volume of VCO1. In fact, let's do it with VCO2 so we don't hear that change in pitch. Let's go to VCO2. So VCO2 is modulating oscillator 1 again. Then let's use the LFO to modulate, where's the longer lead? To modulate the volume of oscillator 2, so the amount of modulation now. Again, lovely, juicy, gritty bits and bobs in there. And I love taking it to those audio ranges. Just try modulating that. Again, make it a bit faster even, see what happens. I'll need to go on the rev out, don't I? Great, that, innit? Love that, slightly different tone on each key. So, absolutely masses to explore there. Let's try modulating the VCF with that instead. See what happens. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? I love all this. Like I said, I think in the intro, fuzzy. Beautiful. So next up then, I don't think I looked at in the last video, maybe I did, is sync, and I love this. So sync and the FM and the modulation is just great. Well, let's do a standard sync tone for now, shall we? So put it in sync, listen to oscillator 2. Let's turn off all that modulation. Obviously, the standard thing to do would be to take the envelope out and put it into the VCO2, but the best way to do this with this anyway is to put it into here so that we can adjust the amount of modulation. If you put this straight into there, you get too much, really. Not as usable. Let's put that back in there. But if you wanted to increase it, increase the gain to 2. And it's gone way off the charts. Yeah, inaudible. Really nice sounding sync, that, isn't it? But what I've been doing is using the LFO to modulate the sync, because obviously if we take this out, you just get loads of different tones in there while you... So if we modulate VCO2 with the LFO, so then whack that up. Love this. And I think the lead tone on that intro track used this, or something like it. Different tone per key. Lovely, isn't it? Stays in tune, but just gets some really nice FM tones. And I think at the end of that lead tone, I then just drop the rate down to 0. So you just get the crisp, clear tone at the end. And then just mess around, sample what you like. And add loads of stuff together, which is my final tip. Here's that intro track then. I'll play the whole thing at the end, but we've got 16 tracks, I think, of Kobol, and the drums, their samples at the bottom. But the lead sound, for example, is that sync tone when I was messing around with the LFO rate and the amount of LFO. Lots of LFO there. And cut it down. Some more stuff up here. I don't know what any of these are, to be honest. That's a sync tone where I'm gradually increasing the frequency of VCO2. A noise shot, we know what they sound like. But again, loads of FM style tones in there, modulating the waves. Small ARP tone, again, sync, and then playing with the VCO2 frequency. So that has the effect of using a filter, but it's not the filter. Synchrony again. Just playing with the LFO and modulation again. There's tons of that in here. Turning the sync on and off. And I start off with just a nice deep sort of re-space, one an octave higher than the other. So there's 4 oscillators playing in total. 2 on the top one, 2 on the bottom one. Simple little bass line. Again, using sync on this to get some sort of brighter, sharper tones. yeah, so there you have it. Some more things to play with on the Kobol Expander. Loads in there. I didn't go into in the first video, but then again, who wants to watch an hour-long video? Enjoy that. Have fun with it. If you did enjoy this, please think about subscribing, ring the bell, join me over on Patreon. I've got patches, I've got samples, all the rest of it. Or maybe take a look at my Starsky Car website as well. Again, I've got patches, I've got samples, I've got things you can buy, I've got free stuff. Maybe do pick up some of the cheaper purchases. It does all help to support the channel. And I will see you next time. And up now is the full version of that little demo track. Okay, cheers. See ya.